Welcome everyone. Welcome to today's session for OptiStellar, where me and Siddharth will be your host today, and we'll be taking you through some really good suggestions and training material on optimization score and auto apply recommendations, and how you can utilize both of them together to derive the maximum value out of your marketing campaigns running in Google Ads across different objectives. So I've been doing program management for Google for quite some time now, and then Siddharth is on the stage with me.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's OptiStellar. My name is Siddharth, and I've been part of the digital industry for more than 8 years now. It's I'm really excited to be joining this session. I'm looking forward to discussing with all of you, all of the levers within optimization score. I mean, optimization score as a product has been there for quite some time now. I'm sure all of you must have used it at some point or the other. It will be interesting to kind of like interact with you and get to know what has been your experience with regards to optimization score. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be coming in the later part of the session where I will particularly talk about auto apply recommendations, which is, a subset of optimization score recommendations, right? So, see you in the later part of the session, and over to you, Varun.
Thanks, Siddharth. So, moving forward with the session, I'll just quickly tell you guys something exciting, which is we do have exciting, swag material for you to win. All you have to do is just share, scan the QR code that is available on the screen at the moment, and share your feedback, any questions that you have regarding the optimization score or auto applied recommendations. And this not only helps you get answers to your questions, but it also could eventually get you some really cool swag material that you can win from Google's side. So once again, there's a QR code that you can scan and then share your feedback, and we always welcome that coming from you. That really helps us improve the products and optimize these training sessions for you going forward. Great. Okay. So today's agenda would be covering three major buckets, where we would be covering automation in Google Ads and optimization score. Then we would be going deeper into autoply recommendations, the type of autoply recommendations that you have, and how you can use a mixture of them together to get the best value out of your marketing campaigns. And then also finally, we would be going towards, like I explained, we would be going deeper into autoply recommendations, and then how you can choose a mixture of these recommendations to achieve your strategic goals. Great. So what does this partnership look like? When we talk about this partnership, what we really mean is that as marketers, we really do value your all the input that you share with us, and not just that input that you share with us, but also the things that you do on your marketing campaigns, right? Together, that combined with our AI algorithms, means that you get the best value coming out of your marketing campaigns, and it only makes you more efficient, helps you focus on other tasks that you can devote your time to, that also helps you achieve your strategic goals and not just get mingled up with the technical stuff of marketing. Okay, so how can you leverage automation? It's I am sure that a lot of you might already be using a lot of AI tools, right? And as marketers, we are always very quick to adapt. We are always eager to learn new things, and automation once again is here. It's a very common word that we hear these days, and how it fits in the Google Ads narrative is this. So basically, Google Ads provides you with business insights and marketing insights. It can you can have strategic discussions with your clients. You can plan for future campaigns with them. You can make sure that you're driving profitability and also managing the campaigns at scale because of the automation that we have introduced in the different Google Ad products. Great. So, what does the value look like when you partner your inputs with the automation that Google Ad products bring in for you? So, we have noticed that using ML-based technologies along with active human feedback or supervision, we have noticed that people were able to increase the performance of their marketing campaigns by an additional 15%, which is a huge lift. together with the AI algorithms, it makes sure that you stay on top ahead of the curve and like stay ahead of your competitions altogether. Okay, so let's just like discuss about a typical day of work for an agency account manager. I think we have tried our best to like map what your routine might look like. So a lot of your time goes into hygiene operations, making sure that you're identifying the best keywords for each campaign and ad group, right? You're regularly monitoring and editing or modifying your ad copies to make sure that you're driving a high CTR at the lowest possible CPCs. You're always like on the hunt for the best optimal like account structure for your campaigns to reach the objective that you want to reach towards a certain like the mix of campaigns, etc., etc. The second task could be like like making budget recommendations to your clients or the direct advertisers, so that like your campaigns can scale like based on the performance of those campaigns historically. And then you can like certain there are certain advanced optimizations that are also done by marketers, such as like running tests and experiments, running scripts, creating reports, developing dashboards out of it, and then sharing these opportunities with the client. Then largely I think the majority of the value comes in from the strategic initiatives, right? So when you plan forward, when you like really think forward and then design your strategies that help your customers and also your clients exceed their expectations of the ROI that they were expecting out of these marketing campaigns. Great. So this is where like the optimization score page or the dashboard comes in. So when you log into your Google Ads, I'm sure a lot of you might have already seen this particular page where you get to see the optimization score. So basically, optimization score is the metric that like lets you know how efficient you are with your account structure, how efficiently you're like following the best practices that are recommended to achieve the maximum ROI out of your Google ads campaigns, right? So this helps you in three different ways. It helps you become more insightful, right? It gives you like real-time signals that are generated through the AI algorithms, like understanding the industry trends, understanding the real-time competitions, the real-time like the bidding scenarios that are happening. And then it also helps you like become more effective. It can like give you recommendations by prioritizing certain channels or like activities like that can derive the most value out of your business. And then like finally it helps you become more efficient as a marketer, because like this page becomes your single like source of truth, where you come and like understand what's working for your account, what's not working for your account, what are the areas of improvement that you can like make changes to, and like get a better performance out of your account. So some of the new features that we have introduced here are goal aware surfaces recommendations, which can have like a biggest impact on your goal. These are available for search, shopping, display, video, discovery apps, and PMAX campaigns. It's like applicable through API. You can like use the auto applies. You can use the Google Ads editor. You can use the scripts. So it's also compatible with the Search Ads 360 platform. Okay, so like I mentioned, like these recommendations are based on real-time auction data, right? So there are two parts to it. One is your business inputs, the inputs that you as a business or as an advertiser are providing to us. Like for example, the kind of audiences that you have started your campaign with, the kind of keywords that you have started your campaigns with, even the kind of like like negative keywords that you have chosen to go ahead with, and combined along with the other AI algorithms and the backend statistical models that Google has, it makes it easier and also more efficient for you as a marketer to make actionable like like to take actionable actions that help you get a better ROI out of these campaigns. So your business objectives such as inputs and biddings, budgets, keywords are like always factored in. That's key number one. And these are actually the key fuel along with the other statistical models to like increase the performance of your like marketing campaigns that you're running on Google Ads. Okay, so another point that we have is that you can also measure the impact of recommendations through experimentation before implementation, right? So you might have a doubt that you might not want to like make a make a recommendation, like apply a recommendation just because you're not completely sure how it would work out for you, right? So you can now apply a recommendation through the experimentation, which helps you understand whether the proposed changes will help you reach your marketing objectives or not. And we are now bringing both of these powerful tools together with one click recommendation experiment feature in the experimentation page. You can now identify optimization recommendations that are likely to have the greatest impact on the campaign performance and apply those recommendations as an experiment. But please note that this is currently not available for broad match and target return on ad spend recommendations, but available for the other ones. Myth busting. So I'm sure that we have heard a lot of myths, and marketers have a love and hate relationship when it comes to optimization scores. So just bringing up some of the myths here and trying to debunk those myth. Once I dismiss a recommendation, it's gone forever. This is completely false. If still valid, dismissed recommendations will repopulate after a few weeks. So that basically means even if you dismiss the recommendations by mistake, or if it was not applicable to you at a certain time, you did not want to implement it at a certain time, but it's still something that can improve the performance of your marketing campaigns. It will continue to pop up once again after a few weeks, so that you can choose to apply it once it's more applicable for you. Second myth: feedback is pointless when dismissing recommendations. So no, we have to understand that we are dealing with statistical models here. So all of the feedback that you share with us is super valuable for us, because it helps us, train these models better, train the backend algorithms better, so that we can continue to improve on the recommendations that we are giving you on an account level. And once again, reminding you, please, there's a swag to be won, and then all you need to do is just scan the QR code on the screen, and then share your feedback or any questions that you have regarding optimization score or auto apply recommendations with us. And with that, I think I'm just gonna give it quick 1 minute and then move over to the next section of the presentation. Great. So the next section of the presentation, which is on auto apply recommendations, and I'd be handing this over to Siddharth now, who is our expert on auto apply recommendation. He'll be taking you through the best practices that we have and what it means uh, as a product for the marketers. Over to you, Siddharth.
Thanks, Varun. Thank you so much. Uh, all right. So now we're going to talk about and discuss about auto apply recommendations. So, like Varun has already set the stage in terms of explaining as to what optimization score is, you know, or what are some of the product features with respect to optimization score, how optimization score as a tool can help advertisers like you to improve your efficiency, save your time, right, and provide more time and focus to more strategic initiatives like you mentioned. So in a similar way, there are subset of recommendations which are within the auto apply recommendations. Now basically within the auto apply recommendations, out of the 90 plus recommendations that we have with regards to optimization score, we have around 23 recommendations right now which are available for auto apply recommendations. Now what does it mean to kind of like auto apply a recommendation? So basically when you auto apply a recommendation or opt into a particular recommendation through the auto apply route, what will happen is, as and when that particular recommendation will surface on your recommendations dashboard, because you have auto applied it, it will get automatically opted in for your specific account for which you have chosen it through the auto apply route. That means you can very well use that particular recommendation and choose not to auto apply that recommendation. Go back to your recommendations dashboard, look into that particular recommendation, and choose to manually opt into that particular recommendation. as and when you feel that particular recommendation is applicable for your accounts. However, the reason why we have provided the auto apply route is because we believe that there are certain recommendations that are always going to be relevant for your campaigns on a regular basis, on a recurring basis. And that is why, as and when there's particular recommendations appear, you can be able to auto apply them. Now, let us look at some of the benefits that auto applying a recommendation basically provides you as an advertiser. Well, first of all, you are able to spend your time wisely. So if you were to do, or if you were to decide that whichever recommendation I choose to opt in for my accounts, I will just manually go look into those particular recommendations, decide whether those recommendations are fit for my particular account and campaign, and then start to opt into those recommendations. However, there could be a second scenario where you could decide that okay, now subset of these recommendations I can definitely or choose to auto apply them. And then what will happen is you will have a lot of time in your hand as an advertiser. You will be able to kind of like devote that time towards more strategic initiatives. You will be able to focus on more complex activities and tasks, right? In this kind of like time, you would be able to kind of like devote this time for better relationship management, or you would be able to devote this time towards creating more strategic initiatives which are long term in nature, right? So basically what will happen is you will be able to standardize a process, and by standardizing that particular process of opting into these recommendations, you will be able to have a good amount of time which you will be able to opt or devote towards more productive initiatives. At the same time, you will also be able to capture into existing demand. Now, if you were to, just imagine as an advertiser, if you were to decide that okay, I will go and manually opt into these recommendations, then definitely there will be a time lag. So if you were to manually opt into these recommendations for the subset of your accounts, you would be able to, kind of like devote, either once a week or once in 2 weeks, you will be able to devote time or set aside time for looking into and revising into your relevant optimizations for recommendations, right? But let's suppose that recommendation was available from quite some time. Now, because you have set a rigor or a periodic time when you would go and look at that particular recommendation in the dashboard, a lot of time might have passed, right? And you would not be able to capture into the existing demand. However, by using auto apply recommendation, that basically that window is not lost. You are able to opt into a particular recommendation in real time as and when that opportunity arises. So now it becomes like auto apply becomes a strategic tool, because in order to improve your overall optimization score, you will be able to capture into existing demand by using auto apply recommendations. And just wanted to say here as well that as it is written here, that it is auto apply recommendations is not a short term performance enhancer. It is there to kind of like help you maintain your account health in the long term. And as Varun had mentioned earlier, we had conducted studies and we found that any particular account that improves its overall optimization score over a period of time by around 10 points, it saw almost 14% increase in conversions, in a median term. So there could be some accounts that might even perform or give more than 14% increase in conversions. So definitely you see that looking into or maintaining optimizations for recommendations definitely helps you in the longer term, because it helps you maintain your account sanity, it helps you maintain your account health, it helps you adopt into Google's best practices, right? And because of which your optimization score is always at a healthy level. And at the same time, it is also not so difficult, because now you have the capability to basically go into an auto apply route, look into those particular recommendations, and then try to see which particular auto apply recommendations feel best for you, and through those particular opt-ins you can basically save a lot of time, right? And then you would be able to, once you have automated some of the optimization recommendations through the auto apply route, then you can basically devote the rest of your time to make sure that you are looking into the more strategic recommendations that are not part of the auto apply recommendations part, right? At the same time, you are also able to drive growth opportunities. Now, first of all, we have to understand, as Varun mentioned earlier, that optimization score is based on an artificial intelligence model of Google, right? So this recommendations engine is very robust. It is not providing you any templated recommendations, right? So each and every account that you see, the recommendations that will be opted in or recommended for you will be completely different from your other set of accounts. And that is because optimization score as a product basically goes into your account, it studies your account deeply, it looks into all of the account signals that are available, and then it provides you certain recommendations, right? And before that, even before providing a recommendation, it actually conducts a statistical significance study. So it basically tries to see that if a particular recommendation was to opted in by an advertiser, what will be the impact of that particular opt-in on the overall health of the account. And that is where, when you see, for each and every recommendations, once you go to your recommendations dashboard on your user interface, on your Google Ads user interface, when you look into a particular recommendation, you look at the top right square of the recommendation dashboard, right? On the top right corner, you will see a number. It will be like either plus 2% or plus 3%. That particular number actually signifies how much headroom that you will be able to cover if you were to opt into that particular recommendation, right? So now we know that optimization score is basically out a score between 0 to 100. So right, and then for each and every recommendation, it basically has a headroom that you will be able to cover with it, right? So right now, if your optimization score is at 80, that means you have a total of 20% of headroom available which you can cover. And how can you cover this 20% headroom? By looking into the optimization score recommendations that are available for your recommendations dashboard. So that is how recommendations, each and every recommendation that is surfacing on your accounts, those recommendations are basically a subset, or these are only surfacing because some kind of statistical study has been done in the back end by the recommendations engine using artificial intelligence models, and then it has been able to predictively understand that looking into or opting into a particular recommendation will actually help you improve your overall account growth. And this is why we say that opting auto apply recommendations will actually be able to drive growth opportunities, because you will be able to scale your business, you will be able to improve your overall return on ad spend. And this is because auto apply recommendations also has a lot of recommendations which are going to help you in terms of improving your overall ROAS, improving your overall ROI on your ad spends, right? And this is what we will learn in detail in the coming slides. Now, what can automatically applying recommendations actually do for your agency? Well, first of all, as an agency, we do understand that you will be managing number of accounts, right? There will be a lot of big accounts, there will be a lot of small accounts that you have to manage, and then as in total, there will be a good number of accounts that you will have to manage. So, as an agency, how do you prioritize or make sure that you are able to use Google's marketing technologies in order to improve your overall performance and gain the best amount of return on ad spends from your recommendations? Now, basically, there are certain improvements or certain ways in which auto apply recommendations can basically help you. Well, first of all, you will be able to scale your best practices, because auto apply recommendations will help you scale your accounts, because now you can apply these recommendations at an MCC level as well, right? At the same time, it will help you improve your performance, because these features, as I told you, they take into consideration so millions of signals, right? And then they are also helping you in real time. That means when your accounts are actually participating in auctions, auto apply recommendations are actually helping you in the back end to make informed decisions, right? So you are also able to improve your overall performance, and you are also able to boost your efficiency, because now you will be able to devote a lot of time towards more strategic and productive initiatives, and you will be able to standardize some of the practices and processes that have set you up for success, right? So this is how, as an agency, it is extremely important. And then, eh, in fact, you should definitely care and you should definitely prioritize artificial intelligence. If you are an agency, you should definitely look into artificial intelligence. And this is because we conducted a study, and what we found was that 93% brands actually see artificial intelligence as critical for their agency partners to embed a range of marketing technologies, right? So if you are able to embed these marketing technologies, you would actually, and a lot of, almost a staggering 93% of the agencies actually feel that incorporating marketing technologies and artificial intelligence based technologies and tools like optimization score and auto apply recommendations will actually help them in the long run, right? And this is why we say that there is, it will help you with your overall market perception, it will help you with your client satisfaction, and also in terms of your providing a good amount of career development for your own employees. Now this is where we show you the user interface. I'm sure you have been to this particular page number of times. This is the recommendations dashboard within the Google Ads UI, within the Google Ads front end, and you will basically be able to see that on the top right corner you see the auto apply recommendation. So when you see this, once you go into the recommendations dashboard, what you see are all of the optimization recommendations, OptiScore recommendations there. But on the top right corner, you also have the auto apply button. Once you click on this auto apply button, the entire menu of auto apply recommendations will be presented to you. You can choose which particular recommendations you actually want to choose for your particular specific accounts, right? And that is the power of auto apply recommendations. You can actually choose which recommendations or which particular recommendations you feel fit. It is a campaign management tool, and it will help you greatly in terms of saving your time, in terms of being more efficient, in terms of driving growth, right? And this is what we are going to see in the coming sections. Now, what can I automate, and how do I choose what to automate? Right? Now let us see, because it is really important, and I want to, kind of like take some time here to explain this. A lot of times we see that, advertisers are actually overwhelmed because they see that, there is a huge number of auto apply recommendations. And sometimes what we have seen with our, discussions with agent advertisers across the globe, we see there is a lot of apprehension about auto apply recommendations. Sometimes advertisers feel that they will lose control. Sometimes they feel that that when they dismiss a particular recommendation, it actually comes back. So there are a lot of kind of like apprehensions that advertisers have, and this is why we say that it is definitely not for you. You can always, once you start understanding how these recommendations are surfaced, what is the logic behind recommendation, or what is the logic behind these recommendations, and most importantly, you should also be able to choose and understand why should I automate a particular reader, right? Why should I go and automate my bidding strategies? Why should I automate my keyword management? These are some of the decisions that if you understand as an advertiser, it will be very easy, and you will see that rather than getting overwhelmed by the large number of recommendations from auto apply, you would actually be able to steer these particular recommendations. You will actually be able to use these particular recommendations to your benefits and advantage. Now, auto apply balances growth, efficiency, and repair recommendations to drive short and long term performances. All right. So within auto apply recommendations, as I discussed, there are a total of 23 recommendations right now, which are present with auto apply recommendations. 22 recommendations right now, right? So for these recommendations, we are actually broken them out down into two classifications. First is your maintain your ads, and the second one is your grow your business. The recommendations that fall within maintain your ads are the hygiene recommendations that are the low hanging fruits. They will help you set up your account, improve your account efficiency, make sure that these hygiene or best practices are being followed, right? So these are some of the recommendations that you should definitely, if you're starting with auto apply recommendations, you should definitely look into incorporating these particular recommendations as your auto apply recommendations, right? And the grow your business recommendations. These are the set of recommendations that basically you will use in order to grow your business. in order to improve the overall ROAS and in overall improve the overall ROIs from your digital spends, right? These are some of those strategic recommendations that will actually help you in terms of winning in auctions, in terms of making sure that you are always, getting the best out of your ad spends. So these are the two subset of recommendations in which we have broken down the auto apply recommendations. Now, with maintaining your ad recommendations, let us try and understand as to what are these recommendations, how are they able to help you in the long term. Well, first of all, they will help you in terms of saving your time, right? These recommendations are going to be applicable for most of your accounts. Now once you see, how these recommendations are going to be applicable for your accounts, you will start seeing that it makes sense to opt these recommendations for most of your accounts, right? So then what will happen is that your overall time that you have to spend on recommendations or to make sure that your account health is okay, it will considerably reduce because now you have made sure that at least the standardized best practices you're following across most of your accounts. The second thing that I want to point out here is your best practices adoption, right? So you will also be able to, adopt into best practices, right? So now there is a lot of, there is a lot of discussion around adopting best practices because what we see is once you start adopting into best practices over a period of time, your campaign health will actually improve, and once your campaign health improves, your overall performance will actually improve proportionately, right? So overall adoption of best practices is something that it helps you with, and then it also helps you with creating an overall long-term impact also on your accounts. What about the grow your business recommendations? The grow your business recommendations are actually the strategic recommendations that will drive growth by optimizing your targeting, improving your ads, and getting better results. First of all, these recommendations will be focused on profitability. So they will help you drive more and more profitability in terms of, if you're running online sales, or if you're trying to have more qualified lead gen, or if you're trying to, make sure that your lead gen is high quality in terms of the overall, lifetime value of the customers that are generated through the lead gen forms is good enough, right? So in those terms, these particular recommendations are actually going to help you. They will help you in terms of, capturing opportunity effectively, because these particular recommendations will actually be helping you in terms of making sure your smart bidding recommendations are up to date. They are able to make decisions in real time when auctions are being placed, and that is how you will actually be able to see that you are able to capture opportunity effectively. Now, this is something really important for us to understand. The capability of auto apply recommendations to be able to act in real time is immense, right? And it gives you immense benefits as an advertiser, because now once you're participating into auctions, it is actually going to be auto apply recommendations that are going to help you in terms of making the best decisions for you, right? And at the same time, the impact that you will be having through these particular actions by incorporating auto apply recommendations, at scale for grow your business recommendations, you'll actually be able to see that you will be able to drive a lot of impact, right? Now, in terms of advertisers who are looking to, kind of like drive their lead generation businesses, we would suggest that, you definitely look at, these particular suggested maintain your ads recommendation, but at the same time, the grow your business recommendations also. So we have these, particular subset of recommendations that we suggest if you're trying to, or if you're an advertiser who's looking at a lot of lead generation business, so to say, right? But make sure that, you as a best practices, your conversion tracking is on. You have set the right conversions for your accounts. You have set, you have understood what are the right conversions for your accounts, and you have set them diligently. That is really important, because the more data that auto apply recommendations get in terms of being able to learn and understand, they will be able to, kind of like improve the overall performance drastically. And this is why we say, that auto apply recommendations or any of the tools within Google, they work best when they are under human supervision, because under human supervision, with the kind of depth of experience that you have as an advertiser, you would be able to give the best inputs in terms of making sure that once auto apply recommendations as a product is able to learn from the inputs that you have put in, it will actually be able to outperform, uh, in terms of your giving your overall best performance. Similarly, these are the recommendations for your uh, online business if you're trying to drive your online business. And definitely out here, you would like to prioritize your conversion values. Try and see that you're using conversion values, you're setting the right conversion values, and you're also using the conversion value rules in terms of being able to optimize your overall performance. Now, Now, here is how can we identify the strategic recommendations that are best for us, right? And this is extremely important because uh, once you go into grow your business recommendations, it's extremely important to understand that there are strategic recommendations and how you can actually use these. Now, when we talk about the smart bidding recommendations, you know, auto apply recommendations will actually ensure that your campaigns are leveraging the most optimal bidding strategy, based on the performance impact and market trends. So first of all, auto apply recommendations will actually help you in terms of making sure that you have the optimal bidding strategy. At the same time, you will also be able to drive the overall strategy of your account, and you are reacting quickly to the changes in the auction. This is a very important point because you have opted into auto apply recommendations. Some of these recommendations will actually be able to help you in terms of making certain changes, critical changes that are there during the auction, right, in real time, and that will help you in terms of making or improving your overall conversions and conversion value in terms of your keyword and coverage recommendations. So with smart bidding, essentially the two biggest important factors are that first of all, it is going to always help you in terms of making sure that you are on the most optimal bidding strategy. If you are on a maximize conversion bidding strategy, it will help you go over to a TCPA bidding strategy. If you're on a TCPA bidding strategy and it feels that you have a good amount of conversion and you want to basically graduate into a conversion value based bidding strategy, it will help you in terms of being able to suggest you that, right? So that is how basically you will always be moving up the ladder in terms of your bidding hierarchy, right? And at the same time, for keyword and coverage recommendations, right? So the recommendations like broad match are keyword and coverage recommendations, and basically broad match as a particular recommendation will best work when it is clubbed with smart bidding recommendations. So first of all, once you have auto apply within your smart bidding recommendations, then definitely the performance of your broad match recommendations will also improve because broad match is very much dependent on your smart bidding recommendations and how they react, to bidding changes. Because why? What is happening is while broad match is actually improving your overall coverage, right? But at the same time, the smart bidding recommendations are actually making sure that you are only participating in those queries where the probability of conversion is the highest, right? So this is where basically smart bidding recommendations are helping you in terms of being able to leverage the most important recommendations, the most important queries and auctions that you need to participate in. And at the same time, smart bidding also acts in terms of helping you to make sure that you are only participating in the correct options. At the same time, these recommendations are also backed by simulations that you will receive more conversions at a similar or a better cost, right? So these recommendations are only recommended when these simulations happen, and as I mentioned earlier, when there is a statistically significant value through which your overall performance of your account will improve. Only then these particular recommendations will get surfaced, right? And if you are opted into the auto apply, once it gets surfaced, it will get auto applied. Now, why leverage the auto apply of smart bidding options? Now, performance optimization is something that is important, right? And we are going to help you in terms of the smart bidding opt-in recommendations. Now, the smart bidding opt-in recommendations are recommendations like maximize conversion opt-in, or TCP opt-in, or TROS opt-in, right? Now, what are these opt-in recommendations? Well, first of all, if you have or if you're setting up a new campaign, you may not have all of the eligible data in terms of being able to qualify for opting into a smart bidding recommendation. You could, kind of like now basically opt in for the smart bidding recommendations, but then what will happen is through auto apply will actually help you in terms of being able to opt or move into a smart bidding recommendation as and when the time is right, because uh, for you to be able to move into a smart bidding opt-in recommendation or a smart bidding recommendation, you would actually need some amount of data, some amount of conversions for the artificial intelligence or the recommendations engine to understand and to learn and to be able to perform, uh, you know, whether it is a TCPA or a TROAS. Right? In terms of being able to optimize towards these two goals, it is important for the recommendations engine to actually have enough data and then to be able to learn and then to be able to provide you with these recommendations. Right? So this is where smart bidding recommendations actually help you. Once you opt into a auto apply recommendation, which is a TCP opt-in or a TROAS opt-in, what will happen is when this particular recommendation will surface on your account, that is when the recommendations engine is actually being able to calculate that this particular recommendation is now available or eligible to be opted in for your account because it has enough data and the system has been able to learn enough to be able to perform and to be able to provide you with the current expected ROIs that it promises. That is where it will be able to optimize you towards. At the same time, it is will be able to future proof you, because these recommendations applied automatically will only move you up the smart bidding ladder. Right? It will not move you down the smart bidding ladder, so you will not come from a TWS strategy to a TCPA strategy. Right? So that is another important advantage that you have. And then you have the competitive advantage, because this will help you in terms of making sure that you do not miss out on any of the uplift opportunities, because now you are playing and you are actually reacting in real time, right? And it would actually be very impossible for anyone who is managing it manually to be always present and to be always making sure that you are always able to react towards all of the quick changes that are happening within the marketing ecosystem, right? So that is why auto apply recommendations are so significant strategically for your for your account success. Now, why leverage the auto apply smart bidding adjustment target adjust recommendations? Well, when you see these recommendations like TOS or adjust TOS or adjust TCPA, now let us tell you why these recommendations are there and what is the logic behind these recommendations. So basically, what happens is that if you are on a smart bidding recommendation, let's say you are on TCPA recommendation, right? Now, basically, the system analyzes that there is a sudden increase in traffic, and because of this sudden increase in traffic, you would actually be able to be improve your conversions considerably by lowering your targets a little bit or becoming more aggressive. So if you were to, kind of like lower your ROAS a little, you would actually be able to improve your overall conversion value significantly. And that is when this particular recommendation is triggered, right? So basically, what are the benefits? First benefit is that, the real-time response to auction changes that would be unfeasible to action by only adjusting targets manually. Recommendations are based on forward-looking simulations and increase volume of sales or volume conversions through bidding more competitively in auctions. So because you are able to kind of like act in real time, which and you are able to make changes by incorporating all of the statistical studies or the statistical significant improvements that you see by making these particular changes, is why you will be able to be both so accurate in terms of being able to make sure that when you leverage into these particular recommendations, they would actually be helping you improve your overall ROIs. Now, why add broad match keywords? Well, just like other keywords, other recommendations, with broad match also you will have the ability to respond in real time to all of the user queries, that might be relevant for your business. Broad match along with smart bidding will bring improvements to allow you to focus on high performing queries. You will not have to manage millions of keyword variations, and keyword recommendations will be based on these forward looking simulations. Now, what are those best practices to get the most out of applying recommendations? Or what are the best practices to get the most out of auto applying these recommendations? Now, some of the best practices are in terms of being able to completely future proof your accounts in terms of making sure that you are leveraging auto apply recommendations correctly. And this is why I say is because as advertisers, I'm sure that a lot of times you might be feeling that you've used a particular auto apply recommendation but may not have given you the intended results. And this is because sometimes advertisers kind of like have not completed the entire checkbooks in terms of making sure that the backend in terms of being able to provide the data or the capability of the artificial intelligence to be able to understand and learn from the data that you have provided or all the inputs that you have provided is robust enough, and then you are set up for success when it comes to auto apply recommendations. Because best practices like review measurement and privacy recommendations, right? It's very important in today's privacy safe world that you are able to review all of your privacy recommendations. You're able to make sure that you have the global site tags, the enhanced conversions, and the consent mode available. Now with this, what will happen is basically when you use your enhanced conversions, right, what happens is basically once you start using enhanced conversions, your overall crawler becomes more efficient because it becomes part to purchase aware, and it is able to kind of like devote or it is able to improve your overall conversions understanding, because it can now understand better as to what or how the consumer is reacting to different changes, right? So that is one thing. And after that, it is really important for you to have site tagging available, right? So I'm sure that many of you as advertisers may not be looking at site tags, but if you have a technology team, please reach out to them and please make sure that your site tags are available across all of your accounts. And this is something, this is agnostic of whether you're using OptiScore recommendations or auto apply recommendations. Whichever, regardless of whichever recommendations that you're using, make sure that these are some of the best practices that you're following. Because if you're going to use artificial intelligence tools within Google, it is really important for Google to have enough data to be able to understand and learn, and from there, it will be able to help you improve your overall performance, right? So make sure that not just on those particular landing pages that you have the global site tags, you have the global site tags across the entire sitemap for your entire website, right? And that what will happen is that wherever the customers go after landing on your landing pages, and that will also be there for the system to understand. And it will only help the system become more part to purchase aware, and it will also be able to understand as to what is the overall performance and what is the overall behavior of the customer, right? Now, the second thing that I cannot stress enough is about checking that your conversion actions are set up properly. Right? Now that we know that there are so many conversion actions that you can actually set up, right? And there is a reason behind setting up conversion actions, because see, whenever you have your account, it is always important that you are providing the right conversion actions for your intended campaigns, right? So if there is a campaign and you want to kind of like improve the overall performance, or the you want to drive performance, then you can definitely look at what are the conversion actions that you can look at in terms of placing, in terms of whether you want to drive sales as a conversion action, or you want to drive in terms of overall the overall page visits or the CTRs that you want to drive, right? So be very mindful of what is the conversion action that you want to drive, and then to be able to set it up, because that is a critical input that you provide the recommendations engine in being able to understand first what is your marketing objective, and second, what's your overall intention behind that particular conversion action. Is it that you're trying to drive complete sales, or is it that you're trying to improve your overall conversions, or is it that you're trying to improve your overall engagement on your website, or you want to bring more traffic to your website. Those are some of the intended targets that you might have. And it is important for you to set up your conversion actions properly. Make sure that conversion actions with the primary label in the action optimization column will be leveraged for bidding optimizations, right? Also ensure that your brand campaigns are using an optimal bidding strategy. So in terms of your brand campaigns, uh, make sure that your most of your brand campaigns are on target impression share brand strategy, because once you set a target impression share brand strategy, that will not be moved automatically to a different bidding strategy, right? It is really important for you to understand this, that once you are into a target impression share brand strategy, because for your brand campaigns, you will not be automatically moved into a separate or a different bidding strategy. At the same time, set up very accurate conversion values, right? So once you set up conversion values that are accurate, the system will be actually be able to, it will help the system in terms of not just learning about what are the conversion values that it needs to drive. It will also be able to optimize the budget in terms of making sure that it is able to give you the best return on the budgets that you are spending, right? And it will actually be able to also make sure, you also need to ensure that the values that you assign to your conversion accurately reflect your business goals and your priorities. And the last but not the least, set optimal budgets and review budget recommendations. Right. So it is very important, because lot of us as advertisers, we often keep complaining that we always keep getting these recommendations like uh, you know set higher budgets or move your unused budgets. And why is it that Google is always giving us these particular recommendations, right? So there is a reason behind it. Now, whenever there is a particular campaign where the recommendation engine actually feels that your particular campaign is being limited through budget, right? Having a good budget is really important, especially if you are into smart bidding strategies. If you are using smart bidding strategies like TCPA or TROAS, make sure that your overall campaigns are not getting limited by budgets, right? Because once they get limited by budgets, overall performance will actually go down, right? So in terms of making sure, there are certain best practices, like for TCPA, you should actually have a budget of almost 15x of your TCPA for your TCPA campaigns. And when you are using TROAS campaigns, you can actually try to use 20x of your current TROAS as your budget, right? Also, all these changes will stay within the existing budgets. Also, one of the most important thing that we need to kind of call out here is that auto apply will never change your overall budget settings, right? They will never change your budget settings, and they will always operate within the given budget. So auto apply recommendations, all of those recommendations that are within auto apply recommendations, those never change your budget recommendations. And this is something very important for you to understand, right? However, optimizations may improve your budget utilization. Additionally, budget limitations may limit campaign potential. So, as we have mentioned earlier, it is important for you to review your budget recommendations periodically, right? If there is a particular recommendation around, making sure that you use your unused budget, or you are able to, increase your budget, do look into those particular recommendations, because that means that those particular accounts are not or being limited by budget, and their performance is being limited by the budget, especially. So these are some of the best practices. It is very important as advertisers for us to make sure that we are giving the correct inputs, because if you look at auto apply recommendations, basically auto apply recommendations, if you take the analogy of a a, a pilot who is driving an aeroplane, right? So just imagine the cockpit that is there with the pilot. There are different in the instrument cluster. There are different set signals, right? And each of these signals, only the pilot has the complete control. These signals keep appearing from time to time, but only the pilot has the complete control whether they want to opt into a particular signal or not. Similarly, for auto apply recommendations also, you are like the pilot as an advertiser. You have complete control. It is only when these particular recommendations surface, it is upon you to make sure that whether you want to kind of like opt into these recommendations, or you want to not use these particular recommendations, right? So as an advertiser, you are under complete control, right? What's next in terms of as an advertiser? What are the next steps that you should follow? Well, you should definitely visit your recommendation page often, right? Apply some of these recommendations. Actually, start with those. If you are completely new to auto apply recommendations and to OptiScore recommendations, we would recommend that you start with some of the recommendations within auto apply also, like the maintain your ad recommendations you can start with, and then gradually you can move into grow your business recommendations. And then set a rigor around maintaining and reviewing your recommendations periodically, right? So like twice a week, or once in a week, try and go into your optimization score, devote 1 hour complete, and see what are those relevant recommendations that are making sense for your account. Start opting into those recommendations, right? Also look into auto apply recommendations. Look into what auto apply recommendations will make sense for your accounts. Start opting into them. You can also always, you will have complete control in terms of being able to manage your recommendations. You can go into the change history. You can look into the change history. You can apply auto apply recommendations beta as a filter, and you can look at all of the auto apply recommendations that have been applied in the past, right? So you will have complete control and visibility as to which are those auto apply recommendations that have been opted in for your account. You can always disable a particular recommendation whenever you want. You can always undo a particular recommendation also, although within a specific period only of around 30 days, when you can undo a particular recommendation, right? So those are some of the levers or some of the advantages that you have as an advertiser. And finally, the last step is that you should always review your optimization score regularly, and then discuss this with your digital marketing teams. So in the end, um, I would like to kind of like thank all of you for your participation and in this particular session. Thank you so much for providing us your valuable time. We hope that this particular session was actually useful for you in order to understand about both OptiScore and auto apply recommendations. Over to you, Varun. Any last thoughts?
Thank you so much, Siddharth. This was such an engaging session. And meanwhile, guys, I'll just take you guys back once again to the swag program that we have and how much valuable your feedback is for us. So please do share the feedback, do share the do scan the QR code on the screen, and then please feel free to like share your feedback regarding the camp or any questions that you have regarding optimization score as a product or auto apply recommendations as a product. Great. So signing off. Good night, guys.